Happy Thursday! It is the 4th of June today and we are carrying on with the Day the Crayons quote. We've got some more letters to read. Dear Duncan, it has been great being your favourite colour this past year and the year before and the year before that. I've really enjoyed all those oceans, lakes, rivers, raindrops, rain clouds and clear skies. But the bad news is that I am so short and stubby. I can't even see over the railing in the crayon box anymore. I need a break. Your very stubby friend, Blue Crayon. So, can you explain, in your own words, the problem that Blue Crayon has? Okay, so read that letter again if you need to. And there's no sentence starter for this one because it's in your own words. You've got to summarise. So use your summarising skills to write an explanation or explain the problem that Blue Crayon has got. What is his problem? Okay, so if I was answering this question, if I was explaining the problem in my own words that Blue Crayon has, I would say Blue Crayon's problem is that he has been used so much that he is no longer very long. In fact, he is quite short now. Short and stubby and can't see over the railing in the crayon box anymore. So he definitely needs a break. That's his problem. He's been used too much. Pink crayon. You might need to squint your eyes a little bit to read this. Duncan, okay, listen here, kid. You have not used me once in the past year. It's because you think I'm a girl's colour, isn't it? Speaking of which, please tell your little sister I said thank you for using me to colour in her pretty princess colouring book. I think she did a fabulous job of staying inside the lines. Now, back to us. Could you please use me sometime to colour in the occasional pink dinosaur or monster or cowboy? Goodness knows they could use a splash of colour. Your unused friend, Pink Crayon. So Duncan obviously doesn't like pink or doesn't like to colour in pink. Why does the author use the word unused to describe Pink Crayon? So you have got a sentence starter for this one. It's here. The author uses the word unused to describe Pink Crayon because. Have a go at answering. Okay, well done. The author uses the word unused to describe Pink Crayon because you can tell from the letter, Pink Crayon says, you have not used me once in the past year. So the author uses the word unused to describe Pink Crayon because Duncan has not used the pink crayon in a year. Has not used it at all. His sister has, we know that, but Duncan hasn't. And Peach Crayon. Hey Duncan, it's me, Peach Crayon. Why did you peel off my paper wrapping? Now I'm naked and too embarrassed to leave the crayon box. I don't even have any underwear. How would you like to go to school naked? I need some clothes. Help! Your naked friend, Peach Crayon. So why do you think Peach Crayon's letter has been put last in the book? Why is this one the last letter, do you think? So I think Peach Crayon's letter has been put last in the book because... Pause it and have a go. Good job. So, if you have a look, and again, this is inference, I think Peach Crayon's letter has been put last in the book because if you have a look, he is the last crayon left in the box. He's too embarrassed to leave the crayon box because he's not got any clothes on. That is why he's the last crayon in the box, and it's the last letter in the book.
Morning everybody, welcome to your maths lesson for today. We've got our warm-up activity with our flashback 4, remember? So we've got some instructions, some position again today, and we've got some other things as well. So have a little look, pause the video, come back to me when you've written down all of your answers for these questions and we'll go through them. Okay, let's have a look. Were you able to spot the pattern? So we've got triangle, triangle, rectangle, triangle, triangle, rectangle, triangle, triangle, rectangle. So you're absolutely right. The next two shapes must be triangle, triangle. Okay, and then the next one, looking at the instructions, we are moving forward 2 squares, 1, 2. We're turning left, and then we're moving 1 square forward. Okay, so 2 squares forward, turn left and move forward 1 square. Okay, finding a quarter of the sweets. So hopefully you split this into 4 groups, because you knew that a quarter is in groups of 4. So a quarter of the sweets are 2 sweets, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. Well done if you did okay with your flashback 4 this morning. We're going on to our learning or instruction video next, which today is all about adding and subtracting ones. So I know you're going to do absolutely brilliantly with it. Remember to have your pen and paper handy. There's lots and lots of activities within the video for you to pause and check that you're understanding everything. And I'll be back after the video with some more practice if you are looking for some. Okay, get ready to listen.
Adding and subtracting ones today. Here's Ron, and he's in the mood for baking. Have you been doing some baking? Ron's been baking cupcakes. How many cupcakes has Ron baked? Well, we could count them, but today we're thinking about efficient ways of adding and subtracting ones. So actually, I'm going to draw my 10 frame around my cupcakes, and I can easily see, because the top row is filled, that there are 5 cupcakes there. But Ron's not finished. He bakes 2 more. 5 and 2 more. How many cakes has Ron baked in total? We could use our bonds to 7 to think, oh, I know that 5 and 2 make 7. Or we could use a number line, and we'd start on 5, and then we're jumping on 2 because we've got 2 extra cupcakes, and that gets us to 7. So now we know that 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. 7 cupcakes. Here are Ron's cupcakes. 7 delicious cupcakes. He decides, I can't eat all those cupcakes, so I'm going to give 4 to my family. How many will he have left? Ron uses a number line to help him. He knows he's got 7 to start with, and this time, because he's subtracting, he's got to move backwards on his number line. And he moves backwards 4 as the 4 cupcakes go off to his family members. He's got 3 cupcakes left. 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. Oh my gosh, Ron, you have been busy. 10 and another 10 and another 5, 25 cupcakes. Cool, that's a lot of cupcakes. What? 2 more? 25 plus 2 more? How many has he baked now? Gosh. Here's Ron's 25 and 2 more cupcakes. Oh, he's not drawn a number line from 0 to 30. He's only drawn a number line from 20 to 30. Oh, that's because he knows he can start on 25 and then just jump on 2. And that will get him to 27. 25 plus 2 is equal to 27. Has he done some more baking? 10, 20, 30, 35 cupcakes and 2 more. Pause the video here. Have a go at drawing your own number line. Think carefully about where you would start your number line and where you're going to finish your number line. We know he's got 35 and he's adding 2 more. Have a go. How did you get on with that number line? I've drawn a 30 to 40 number line because we're starting at 35 and we're adding on 2 more cupcakes. Now, I could use my number line, but also I remember this bond from earlier on. One of the first things we looked at in the lesson was 5 plus 2, and this is 35 plus 2. 5 cupcakes plus 2 cupcakes was 7 cupcakes. So 35 plus 2 should be 37. Can check that on the number line. Oh yes, it is. I'm also starting to notice a pattern here, that the tens never change. I wonder if we were starting at 39 and adding 2, would the tens change then? In this example they don't, but I wonder if that's always the case. In this example, 35 plus 2 is equal to 37, and the tens haven't changed. Adding and subtracting ones today. Here's Ron, and he's in the mood for baking. Let's see if the same thing happens here. 10, 20, and 7. 27 cupcakes. There's my number line from 20 to 30. This time, Ron's feeling generous again, and he's giving 4 cupcakes away. Do you think I need to worry about the tens, or should I just concentrate on the ones? Yeah, just the ones. So he's giving 4 away, so I need to think about 7 minus 4. 7 minus 4 is 3, and 27 minus 4 is 23. Gosh, 37 cupcakes, Ron. Again, he's being generous, but not that generous. If he's got 37 cupcakes and he's only given 4 away, maybe he's just starting off by giving 4. He might give some more later. Okay, this is your turn. Pause the video here and have a go at working out 37 minus 4. Think about that number line. How did you get on? Did you use a number line? Did you think about your knowledge of bonds to 7? Here's my number line from 30 to 40, because we're starting at 37 and we're subtracting 4. I'm going to jump back 4 places on the number line, and at the same time I'm going to remove 4 of those cupcakes. I can see I've got 33 cupcakes, and I've landed at number 33 on the number line. So I know 37 cupcakes subtract 4 is equal to 33 cupcakes. Ron has finished baking, which his dad is overjoyed about, because he's used up all of the ingredients. We're now just going to have a look at 42 plus 3. And we aren't using cupcakes anymore, because it won't always be cupcakes. If we want a manipulative to use, base 10 is really useful here. So I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 2 ones. And I'm adding 1, 2, 3 ones. You might not have base 10, but you can draw very similar things to base 10. You can draw sticks for the 10s, and you could do dots or little squares for the 1s, and it would work in exactly the same way. Also, a number line might be useful here, starting at 42 and making those 3 jumps, or that 1 jump of 3, using your number bond knowledge, up to 45. So we now can see 42 plus 3 is equal to 45. And remember, that could be cupcakes. It could be 42 cupcakes plus 3 cupcakes is 45 cupcakes, or it could be 42 horses plus 3 horses is 45 horses. It could be anything you like. Your turn to have a go now. 42 plus 5. There's our base 10. If you want to draw them, you're welcome to. Pause the video here and have a go. Did you draw the base 10? And did you draw a number line? was your number line like this? From 40 to 50. Starting at 42, a jump of 5, getting us to 47. 42 plus 5 is equal to 47. You may have been super good at those additions and not have to draw the base 10 because you know your bonds. But I suggest for this example we do draw the base 10 because we're looking at subtraction here. We're going to do 38 subtract 3. Here are my base 10. 10, 20, 30. And here are my 8. Now the reason I suggest drawing it for this one is that we can cross out and get rid of those 3, and then it will be very clear to see how many we've got left. Here's my number line. I'm going to start at 38 and I'm going to jump back 3 and I'm going to get rid of 3 ones. So I can see from my base 10 that I've got 10, 20, 30 and 5 making 35, and I can see on my number line I've got 35. 38 subtract 3 is 35. Here's one for you to have a go at. 38 minus 6. Here's my base 10 and I'm going to draw a number line too, just to double check. Pause the video here and have a go. I suggest you draw the base 10 and the number line too. Good luck. How did you get on with that? Did you draw the base 10? It's good, isn't it? Because you can cross them out or rub them out and get rid of those 6. Here's my number line. I've done 6 jumps back from 38 and it's got me to 32. 38 minus 6 is 32. Here's Ron back. He's just finished all the washing up after his baking. Well done, Ron. He's really impressed with how you're doing at this, and he's set you some questions. Remember your bonds and think about the 10s and the 1s and what's happening to them. Draw yourself some base 10 and use the number line to help you. Good luck. Pause the video here to have a go at these questions. Did you draw some base 10? It's really helpful, isn't it? Both with addition and with subtraction. Here are the answers to the questions. And that.
Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm sure you got on brilliantly with your adding and subtracting ones today. So if you're looking for some extra practice in that, remember that this is extra and you can choose to do it or choose not to do it. But if you do want the extra practice, as with all of the other days, if you have a go at the ones that are on the screen, and then we'll go through the answers and I'll take you through it step by step. So just have a look at question 1, which is on the screen now. Pause the video, have a go at it and come back to me when you're ready for your answers. Okay, brilliant. Let's have a little look how you got on them. So it says Jack has 6 cookies. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he gives him 1 more cookie. How many does he have now? So hopefully you spotted that 6 plus 1, it's going to be 7. 7 cookies now. Amir has 4 cookies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he eats one of his cookies, so this one's gone away. How many cookies does he have left now? So it's 4, take away 1. So it leaves us with 3 cookies. I'm sure you managed to do that really simply. Let's have a look at the next one. Looking at the different number tracks then, you're going to fill in the missing numbers, and you're also going to show some numbers that have been made with some base 10. So have a go at those. Come back to me when you are ready with your answers. Okay, let's have a little look and see how you got on. So hopefully you spotted that these number tracks were in 1. So you've got 21, so the missing numbers were 22. We got 23, and then missing were 24, 25, 26, 27 and 28. Same here, but we're going to go backwards this time. So we're subtracting 1. So we started with 47. We subtracted 1 to get to 46. We were given 45, and then 44, 43, 42, 41 and 40 were all missing. And then miss 1, we didn't know what that start number was, but we could have worked out how many gaps there were, but we were 1, 2, 3, 4, given a 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 we had to add in. So Philip has made a number using base 10. What numbers he made? He's made 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3. So he's made 43. Rosie also makes a number using base 10, and Rosie's number is 1 more, so another red cube onto Philip's number. So Rosie's number is 44. Okay, next activity then. Have a little go at these and come back to us. Remember, you'll need to remember Philip and Rosie's number from your previous questions to carry on with these. Off you go. Okay, fantastic. Let's have a look at the answers then. So Ron's number is 2 more than Philip's number. Ron's number is 45. And Dara's number is 1 less than Philip's number, which was 43. So 43 minus 1 is 42. Dara's number is 42. So completing the quick calculations here, it's A, B, C, D. So we'll go down this list of questions. 14 plus 1 is 15. 22 plus 1 is 23. 54 plus 1 is 55. 62 is equal to 1 plus 61. 19 take away 1 is 18. 33 add 1 is 34. 18 is equal to 19 take away 1. And 88 is equal to 89 take away 1. Okay, last lot of activities then for today. This is your last section. Have a little go at these and then come back to us so we can discuss the answers. Okay, brilliant. So let's have a look at these together then. So completing the calculations, 14 plus 2 is 16. 22 plus 3 is 25. 54 plus 4 equals 58. 66 is equal to 5 plus 61. 19 take away 2 is 17. 33 add 2 is 35. 12 equals 19 take away 7. And 86 is equal to 89 take away 3. So pause the video if you need to make sure that you've got all of your answers marked correct in those. So for the last one, it asks us are the number sentences true or false. So 17 plus 1 is the same as 1 plus 17. Yeah, we understand that both those equal 18, so that's true. But 17 take away 1 is 16. And is that equal to 1 take away 17? No, because we can't take the 17 away from 1 without getting a positive number, so that one's false. So well done if you managed to work through all of those today. Remember, there's loads more online activities for maths if you are interested. There's Timetable Rockstars, there's the Oxford Owl website and Top Marks. Mrs Upton's up next with her writing, and I will see you again for tomorrow, and we've got a bit of a quiz for Friday to really test that mathematical knowledge. So I'll see you for that tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, our grammar activity on Thursday the 4th of June is recognising past progressive tense. So it's something that is in the past, but that ing word means that it's still happening. So let's have a look. You can see here we've got some sentences. We've got the clock, we've got a picture, and then we've got some sentences. What I want you to do, I want you to pause me in a moment. We're going to go over it together afterwards, but I want you to pause me for a moment, and I want you to read both of those sentences, and I want you to think about which one is in the past, but still happening. Usually the clue is going to be in those ing words. So if we take the first one together, if we have a look here, she was eating breakfast. Which word tells us that it's in the past in that sentence? She was eating breakfast. And again, she ate breakfast. This ate tells us in the past, so they are both in the past. But one is still happening, okay? Which one is still happening? She was eating breakfast. She ate breakfast. Which one is done, complete, finished? She ate it, it was done. Which one was she still eating? She was eating breakfast is the past progressive, and this is what we're looking at today. Okay, so let's have a look at the next one. What's the time on the next one? So the big minute hand is, the wait a minute hand is pointing to the 12. And that short hour hand, he can only say the numbers, can't he? That little hour hand can only say the numbers. What number is he pointing to? He's pointing to the 10. So the time is 10 o'clock. Okay, they were playing outside. They played outside. Which one is done and finished? Which one tells you that it's in the past but still could be happening? Okay, so I want you to pause me here. You don't need to write anything down. I just want you getting familiar with the past, the happening, ings, and the things that are in the past but have completely stopped. Because it's the progressive, the things that are still happening that we want to be thinking about that have happened in the past. So pause me now and have a look. Which sentences do you think are the past progressive here? Pause me now. So you can see that she was eating breakfast instead of she ate breakfast. They were playing outside instead of they played outside. He was eating his lunch. They were learning. She was walking home. He was eating his tea. He was listening to a story. He was brushing his teeth. She was sleeping. How did you do? Did anybody get the closed? This is ended. Did anybody get any of those in by mistake? Or are you starting to become familiar with the fact that past progressive is still happening? It's still going on. And that ing word is a really good clue. Thursday, the 4th of June. So we're going to put, oh look, you can see Stanley just poking up. He's done his mission. What's he managed to do? Ta-da! So we're going to pause here and I would like you to read this before I get busy. Remember, working on those reading skills is really important. The better reader you are, the easier it is to learn, isn't it? So have a read. If it's too much for you, I know some of you might say, oh, the words are really small. I can manage on this screen. If it is too much, there are some copies in the work booklet. That could be helpful to you. If you can only manage to read a little bit, but pause me now and read as much as you can. Get that brain engaged in that reading, guys. So pause me now. One day, Stanley got a letter from his friend, Thomas Anthony Jeffrey, whose family had moved recently to California. A school vacation was about to begin and Stanley was invited to spend it with the Jeffreys. Oh boy, Stanley said, I would love to go. Mr. Lambchop sighed. Around the trip, train or an aeroplane ticket to California is very expensive, he said. I will have to think of some cheaper way. When Mr. Lambchop came home from the office that evening, he brought with him an enormous brown paper envelope. Now then, Stanley, he said, try this on for size. The envelope fit Stanley very well. There was even room left over. Mrs. Lambchop discovered for an egg salad sandwich made with thin bread and a toothbrush case filled with milk. They had to put a great many stamps on the envelope to pay for both airmail and insurance, but it was still much less expensive than the train or the aeroplane ticket to California. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop slid Stanley into the envelope along with the egg salad sandwich and the toothbrush case full of milk and mailed him from the box on the corner. The envelope had to be folded to fit through the slot, but Stanley was a limber boy and inside the box he straightened right up again. What a brilliant idea! I'm not sure how I'd feel about being squished up into an envelope though. How about you? Now this is the start of Stanley's adventure. So he's already been on an adventure where he went down into the sewers to get the ring. Now his dad's given him the ultimate opportunity for adventure. He can go into an envelope and he can be posted anywhere in the world. So we're going to be thinking about some CC activities, some of your connected curriculum activities in and around that. Let's see what adventure he gets up to next. The next Sunday, Stanley and Arthur went to the park by themselves. The day was sunny but windy too, and many older boys were flying beautiful, enormous kites with long tails made in all colours of the rainbow. Arthur sighed. Someday, he said, I will have a big kite and I'll win a kite flying contest and be famous like everybody else. No one knows who I am these days. Stanley remembered when his parents had said. He went to a boy whose kite was broken and borrowed a large spool of string. "You can fly me, Arthur," he said. "Come on." He attached the string to himself and gave Arthur the spool to hold. He ran lightly across the grass sideways up to get to speed, and he turned to meet the breeze. Up, up, up went Stanley, being a kite. He knew just how to manage the gusts of the wind. He faced full into the wind if he wanted to rise, and to let him take from behind when he wanted speed. He had only to turn his thin edge to the wind carefully a little at a time so that it did not hold him, and then he would slip gracefully down towards the earth again. Arthur let out all the string, and Stanley soared high into the trees, a beautiful sight in his red shirt and blue trousers pale against the pale blue sky. Everyone in the park stood still to watch. Stanley swooped right and then left in long matched swoops. He held his arms by his sides and zoomed at the ground like a rocket and curved up again towards the sun. He side-slipped and circled and made figure of eights and crosses and a star. Nobody had ever flown the way Stanley Lambchop flew that day. Probably no one ever will again. After a while, of course, people grew tired of watching, and Arthur got tired of running about with an empty spool. Stanley went right on, though, showing off. So we've had some different adventures. We've had down the drain. We know that we can go anywhere in an envelope, so we can think about where we can go. He's been a kite. You had some brilliant ideas on some of the things that you could be and do if you were flat as well. So we're going to start thinking about how we can put what we're learning and what we're thinking is fun in the Flat Stanley books into our own story. So today, I want you to draw yourself a story map. It could look like this. It doesn't matter what it looks like, but it's just to show that you're going to move from one part of your story to the next part, to the next part, to the next part. So I want to be able to see that progression, and I need you to be able to see that progression of how your story is going to move from one element to the next, to the next. Now we're going to start to focus on the beginning of our story map, okay, and what happens at the beginning. So our story starts with an ordinary family and an ordinary day. They all start in bed. Mum and Dad are downstairs. Stanley and Arthur are in bed. Everything is ordinary. So in your first box, I would like you to draw an ordinary Stanley, an ordinary Arthur, an ordinary Mrs. Lambchop, and an ordinary Mr. Lambchop, and just show them being super ordinary, please. So pause me now and draw your ordinary family. Pause me now. Then I want you to draw what is the first thing that happens to Stanley. What takes the day from being ordinary, regular, like it could be in anybody's household, to extraordinary, okay? What changes? What's different? Of course, it's Arthur's discovery, isn't it? So in your next box, I want you to draw Arthur finding Stanley and Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop running up to the stairs and discovering this boy in bed who is squished as flat as a pancake. Okay, so by the end of the day, I need you to have drawn in your first box. You've created an ordinary scene of an ordinary family, and then an arrow that takes me on then to show me what flips, how your story suddenly, and that will be a nice sentence opener, suddenly it changes, and show me the moment of change when they lift that board and Stanley is flat. So by the end of today's learning, I want 2 pictures drawn on your story map, the ordinary and when it starts to get a little bit extraordinary. So we've got our ordinary beginning, we've got things when things become a little extraordinary, and then next week, we're going to look into how you can have something that happens, how you can build it up, and then you have the problem at the centre, and then you can come back down from the centre. So that's how we're going to shape a couple of activities in our story. But for now, we're just going to be focusing on the very beginning of our Flat Stanley story. So we've got our ordinary day, and then when things become a little extraordinary, and then next week we're going to look about how our story can start to take shape. So by the end of today, we want an ordinary image, and where things become a little extraordinary. So you need to have drawn 2 pictures on your plan. Hello guys, so I am setting you some CC work for the next 2 weeks, and I've got a primary project and then some secondary projects, and they all kind of link in together. But the one thing that I'm hoping you'll be able to have by the end of these 2 weeks is the primary project, and then the secondary projects kind of link into it. So our topic for Connected Curriculum is still exploring Britain, and some of you have done some amazing exploration of Britain, so well done, you'll have already had a head start. If you want to have a look at this in more detail and you feel like there isn't quite enough here, there's loads of meat for you to get your teeth into on the website, so you can go to our school homepage and you will find it there. If you can think of some more amazing ideas on how to explore Britain, then do that. You are not confined to just doing this. These are just some ideas. So, this is a little overview. I don't know if you want to have a pause here. I'm not going to go through it all, and have a little read of what it is that the areas that we need to be looking at. Okay, so if you want to have a look at that, pause now. Here's the primary activity. So this is what I would love for you to complete, and it's going to link into our English work as well. So if you can complete this, I would love it. So the primary activity, can you make a map of Britain and draw and label some of the physical and human features? So I don't know if you've got any old wallpaper that you could kind of roll out and do it on the back of. I've got some parcel paper that I would know that I would be able to do this on. I don't know if you can kind of get some cardboard boxes, maybe some cereal boxes, and stick them together. I don't know. Is there a way that we could kind of make it on some old wrapping paper? I don't know, but can we make this a large scale something? Because how I'm imagining it in my head is that it could be brilliant. It could be a really exciting, brilliant project that you could bring into school, and we could put this on the wall in our classroom, and it'll almost like fill a whole wall, won't it? So you can draw it, you can make some models. I was thinking maybe some little salt dome models that you could put on there, or some Play-Doh models as well. That shows your understanding. Maybe you've got some little toys, maybe you've got a fire engine or a police engine, and you could go down into Rugeley and you could draw the different fire stations. But I don't know, it is up to you. However you want to do it, there are no rules, but I would love for you to draw and label a map of Britain and Rugeley. What I thought would be a good idea is if you drew your house first. So that's the thing that you know best. So if you kind of draw that first, and then does anybody you know live close by you, kind of build up the houses in and around, and then move it a bit further. Can you start from the house, start from the people you know and the street that you're in, and build up from there. That's how I would do it. Anyway, if you might have a different idea, and your ideas are always better than mine, so that's just where I think I would start. And then once you've done those, you can start to add in some of the man-made features, can't you? So you can start to add in some of those places that we're going to be looking at in our English as well. It all ties in. So if you could do this alongside that, we're going to be nailing our learning. So you can add in some of these man-made features. And then are there any natural spaces? I know a lot of you have got the green in and around by your house. So where's that? Think about where that is. Is it behind your house? Is it to the right, to the left? Imagine that you're a bird flying above where you live, above Britain and above Rugeley, and you can see but down below you. So it's a bird's eye view that you're going to be doing. So, like I said, you may want to make your map using crayons, paints, felt pens, models, toys, however you want to do it. I also thought a nice idea might be if you go out for a walk, if you're saying, oh, where is that? And trying to figure it out with your mums and dads, you might want to take a picture if they've got a printer at home, and they might be able to print out some of the pictures and stick it onto the map. That might be a big job, and some mummies and daddies might go, I have not got the capacity to do that. Don't pressure them. So don't go, oh, but Mrs. Upton said. It's just an idea. If that sounds fun for you and your family, it has to work for you all. So if that's not a good idea, then there's loads of other good ideas that you can use. So your primary activity, the one connected curriculum thing that I would love for you to do over the next 2 weeks, is create a map. You might not get it all done in one day. Pop it away, get it back out. When there's a little lull, you're thinking, what should I do? Oh, my map. I'll work on my map. Okay, because I want to see these. I don't just want the email. I want them coming into school. So that is your primary activity. If and when you finish that, we have some secondary activities. Okay, so once your map is complete, we have some secondary activities. So one of our objectives for our geography is to find a small town like Brayton in a different part of the UK. And Katie Morag on CBeebies is a good person. So maybe you can have a little search on the CBeebies app and maybe you can have a little look at some of the episodes. Can you find somewhere that is similar to Brayton or really different? And can you... I don't mind how you present it to me. You might want to do some writing. You might want to do a drawing of Brayton and a drawing of wherever Katie is. Whatever you want to do to show me how Brayton is similar and dissimilar to somewhere that you've seen. It doesn't need to be somewhere that Katie's been. It can be anywhere, okay? It might be somewhere that you've been on holiday. It might anywhere. You can compare any way that you want, okay? Also, I thought another nice idea along the geography theme would be to add some geographical vocabulary. So words like beach, cliff. I'm not sure there's many cliffs or coasts in Britain. You might want to add a little one on the edge somewhere just so you can do some of your geographical vocabulary. The sea, you might want to add some sea or ocean, river, soil. We've got a canal, haven't we? I know there's an allotment as you go past the plum pudding up there. So there's vegetation up there. So I thought it might be a nice idea to add a map. And I've given you a little example at the bottom. So there's a map key there. So it might be that you want to add in some little bits to your map. And rather than it might be a bit overcrowded on your map, to write them just in one corner of the map. So that if someone's looking at it, they'll go, oh, okay, there's a park there. And Mrs. Upton's key for the park is this. So you can add a key to your map. And then I thought your third secondary activity, you can do any of these. They don't have to be in this order. The map's the primary and then all of these are secondary. I was thinking it might be a nice idea if we thought about a monument, something that we could put together to show how we have come through this very tricky time. We're still kind of in the midst of it at the moment, aren't we? But we're living through history right now. In years to come, if you have children and when you're all grown-ups and you're looking back, this will be taught. People will talk about this and we will be in the history books and you'll be able to Google it and go, no way, that never happened, did it? Really? So I thought it might be a really nice idea if we tried to think of a monument. You had a look, Mrs. Munder set you some CC last time, didn't she? And it was doing the Angel of the North. Well, I thought, could we think of a monument that represents everything that we're going through right now? Is there a way that we could do a monument that shows everybody what we're going through right now? Can you make it or can you draw what you'd want it to be like? And then can you mark where you would put it so that most people would see it on your map? And have a think about why you'd put it there on your map. Would you put it there because it's a quiet place and people can go to it if they've lived through it and they're finding it tricky? Would you put it somewhere like the miners in town near Sea Residential, where you've got the 4 miners on the island near to the petrol garage and Burger King? That's in a place where loads of people see it and they can be reminded of where our town and community was built from. It was built on the mining community, a lot of it. So where would you put your monument? On this page, I've got some ideas. So these are some different monuments, just as some ideas. You can have a little search of what you think a good idea for a monument might be, and you could draw it. Now remember, a monument is inspiring and positive. We want to show how we are going to come through this stronger and better than before. So it needs to be a really, when you look at it, you think it gives you a message. It's a powerful message. That was a really tricky time, and look, we came through it. Look how strong we are. So if you can design something that screams out empowerment and then talk about where it can go on your map, I'd love to see that. Good job, guys.